Welcome back. This is Journey to the Bag. Let's talk about another landlord nightmare. We bought a building in Chicago, a 3-unit building, completely renovated. Everything on the inside is new. Everything was looking good. Numbers worked out fine. Tenants started moving in, and then this happened.
I think maybe 2 days into the tenant moving into the garden unit, the sewer started to back up. Our mind was blown because the sale was actually delayed because of the plumbing. The city had to come in and give a check mark on the plumbing because they redid it. What we realized is there is a difference between plumbing, water coming in, and sewer, water going out. There was a tree root that was blocking the pipes. And when we got the pipes cleaned out, there were wipes on wipes on wipes. Insert video here.
I don't care what they tell you about these wipes. Flushable, non-flushable, it's not a real thing. Don't flush them.
And if they get caught on something,
snagged,
it's not dissolving in a day.
They don't break down quickly.
Yeah, no, not fast enough. So they get all caught up. Right. And so what we found out was that if the issue was on the city side, the city would take care of it. If it was on our side, then we would have to take care of it. So we had to pay a few $100s for a couple of plumbers to come out and determine where the issue was. Once the plumbers say, yeah, the issue is on the sidewalk because that's where the tree was, it's on the city. Well, then the city then has to come out and say, yes, it is on us. And so what happened was the city came out. They said, yes, this tree and this sidewalk is in our vicinity. But wait, when was the house renovated? Like a year ago or so? And they said, oh, darn.
If the house had been renovated within 3 years,
then they don't cover it.
They don't cover it.
They don't cover it.
They never really showed us documentation on that, so maybe they was bullshit.
What? You're telling me. So yeah, so all of that is void. So if you redo a house in Chicago, check everything all the way out to the street, which they were digging in.
Check up the street if you need to.
Check the street.
Check to the next bus stop.
Because if you renovated the house, they said, oh, too bad, so sad. Luckily, we didn't have to dig up the street. We were able to get it fixed for a pretty penny.
Within the yard?
Within the yard, yep. So they created another little out thingy to where they could get closer to the issue and use the little choppy thing and chop up the
the choppy thing.
The choppy thing. It's like a helicopter and it goes in and chops everything up.
They did a clean out.
Yes, they did a very, very good clean out after pulling out pounds and pounds of flushable wipes.
And trees.
Tree limbs, yep, and tree limbs.
Yeah,
that
so
was coming back.
We had the sewer backed up into the unit, so there's everywhere.
Yeah, and not like that person's right? Like when the top floor flushed and it tried to go out to the sewer said, nope.
All of it comes back in.
Going back into the bottom unit.
This is a biohazard now. We had to move the tenant out completely. We tried to offer them a hotel or something, try to retain them. Nah, no good. We had to give them the money back and everything, and the units all messed up. And I
know you don't like insurance, but insurance did pay us for the loss of the rent because we had a lease.
Insurance is good and bad. It's a scam. It feels so scammy. I hate it, but
that's another video.
That's another video.
We spent another few $1,000s on getting it de-biohazard. So you got walls that you have to cut out. You got flooring that you have to pull up and replace. And like once it sits for long enough, or if it's that bad, it seeps in. You just have to get it out.
You had to tear up everything.
You got to get it out. And it was coming in from the walls. So it all had to be ripped out. Then Chicago had the most rain it had ever had in 100 years. I also want to pause here and say that this is your city.
Hey.
And it wouldn't have been an issue, but Chicago decided that they wanted to close off certain areas of the sewer system.
On the west side, they rerouted the sewer system and
that it wouldn't flood downtown.
Yeah, so it won't flood into it won't flood into the West Loop and all of that. It'll just flood into the west side. And I don't understand it myself, but it is a real thing, and a lot of people's basements on the west side get flooded. But West Garfield, East Garfield, all of that gets flooded. It's rough.
Yep. And so that was water. That wasn't like sewage, right? But it was still very dirty water that was coming in from the river, and the city backed it into our unit. And we hadn't even gotten a new tenant. I was actually trying to do a showing, and I sent somebody there because we don't live there. And I was on the phone with the woman, and I was like, this is the code. You can go right in. And she was like, okay, hopefully it's she was like, I'm glad it's not flooded because there's so many buildings around here that are flooded. And I said, what? What happened? And she proceeds to tell me the story, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know if anybody's been there in the past 24, 48 hours. She's on the phone with me. She opens up the door, and she said, yep, nope, it's flooded. The call I made to my then management company, so it flooded again. Had to take out all the doors, 2 feet of drywall all the way around. Like, it wasn't that the water was nasty. It just was that there was a ton of it.
It killed the appliances.
What, 10, 15? Is that 15?
15.
It's $15K, Chicago.
I kind of want my money from the city, but I'm not going to go there.
I don't even know how. Everybody does. There's a whole bunch of videos of people that wanted it. We fixed it. There's a tenant in there now. Knock on wood. Haven't had an issue. Don't think that there's going to be an issue with the sewage. We just have to make sure, that pipe stays cleaned out and everything and doesn't break. But if Chicago decides to flood us again, there's not much we can do about that.
That's just another nightmare story from a landlord. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, share it with other landlords, aspiring landlords. Drop a comment if you want us to do this again. We got stories for days. Catch you on the next one. Peace.